Today is a strategy episode, and honestly, I think it's a strategy that not a lot of people are talking about. So right now, we have a system running on our website that adds 20 or more new email subscribers every single week organically, no ads, no social media, no new content required. And I know that 20 a week does not sound sexy, but here's what matters. They are not random people who clicked on a boosted post, right? These are people who found our website, read our content, and raised their hand and asked for more. That is a completely different kind of subscriber than someone that's coming in and unsubscribing in the first 24 hours. So inside this episode, I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact 3-layer system we use, rotating our podcast pre-rolls, smart pop-ups on our main pages, and blog-specific pop-ups that match exactly what someone is already searching for. So if you have website traffic and you're not capturing it, you're letting your most interested people walk out the door, and this episode is going to fix that. Welcome back to the Crush Source podcast. I am excited for today's episode because it's another behind the scenes episode where we're going deep into strategies that we've been trying and testing and figuring out what works. And I think these are the episodes that you guys love. So if you are an avid listener, I would love to know what you think of these strategic deep dives and tell me what you'd like to hear more of. But here's the thing that I want to get into right now, and that is the result of this strategy that I'm going to walk you through. And the fact is that we have a system running on our website that's adding about 20 new email subscribers every single week. That's organically, no ads, no social media, no additional content required. And I just want to pause here because when I was writing this episode, I was like, well, is 20 subscribers like juicy enough to be its own, episode? But think about 20 people in a room, right? That's a lot of people. And so on paper, maybe 20 subscribers a week doesn't sound like sexy and fancy, but here's the thing. These aren't random people. These are ideal clients who found our website, read our content, and raised their hand and said, I want to be on your list. And that is a completely different kind of subscriber than someone who just clicked a random post or paid ad and said, oh, let me see this, right? So this episode is really for you if you already have website traffic. If you don't, that's okay. You can still try it. And we're going to talk about how to get more website traffic. And this is for you if you want to convert more of that website traffic into email subscribers. And I want to be upfront and say this is a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but it's really, really cool. And I think you should try it. I've got some clients that are testing it out now. And I think it's something that's worth sharing, obviously, because I'm recording a podcast on it. But the goal is that you have people and traffic coming to your website and you're not capturing it, right? So you're leaving your most interested people at the door, like they're not coming into your house. And so we want to fix that. And we're going to get into what exactly you can do to do this. So I'm going to talk about pop-ups. And if you were from the blogging era in the early, 2000s, when blogging was really starting to come on the map, pop-ups were a thing and they were really annoying. And people are like, I don't love them. I don't want this to be my client experience. Or people have pop-ups on their website and it's like, join my newsletter. And there's this pink stock photo that just doesn't do anything, right? So here's how we're making it different. We want the pop-up on your website to be so specific that it literally matches what the person is searching for. And we know in the world of AI and ChatGPT and Claude that people are searching for answers in those tools, and then your website is getting recommended. So they're coming to your website, and we don't want to lose that traffic. We want to capture it. And so these pop-ups are what capture it. The way that we have done it differently, however, is let's pretend we have a podcast playlist that's all about leaving corporate. So it's like a landing page and you give us your email and then we'll send you the corporate playlist, right? So let's pretend that you're coming to our website and you're like, I want to know how to leave my corporate job. So you you find our blog post about how we set up this plan of making sure that everything is in place for you to leave your corporate job. The person that's looking for this is in a very specific moment, right? You're like, I want to know the details. Our blog post goes through the details. The disconnect is most pop-ups are like, join my newsletter. And you just read this like amazing blog post about leaving your corporate job. What I want your pop-up to do and what ours does takes that corporate experience and says, hey, if you want more on this topic, download our corporate playlist, right? So the blog post matches the pop-up. And the fix is not better design. It's still a pop-up, right? The fix is relevant. And that relevancy is what has changed, because I know people are Googling, like, how do I leave my corporate job? Which points them to our blog post, which is very specific of like what I would do if I were to leave corporate at this time. Then the pop-up is very strategically planned to say, hey, if you want more information about this topic, let's go here, right? And so I will be honest, when we started this pop-up strategy, I was like, I don't know. This is a lot of work. We got to create a lot of pop-ups. But here's the thing. Once you create them, you don't really have to change them. And then I started to see our email list shift very quickly, and they were coming from those pop-ups. And I was like, this is interesting, because the right person sees the right offer at the right moment every single time. And I think when you think about AI and how people are searching, they're searching for the answer. I'm giving you the answer because I have the resource on our website, and then I'm giving you another way to learn even more. And that is the whole strategy. So how our system works is we have 3 layers to this like pop-up strategy. The first layer is blog-specific pop-ups tied to each topic, right? So I actually went into Claude Cowork. We could do a whole podcast on this. And I asked Claude Cowork to run an SEO audit. If you have Claude Cowork, you don't even have to program it to do it. You could just say, run an SEO audit, and it already has the skills built in. I took it a step further and I went into Google Analytics. I downloaded our most popular pages and blog posts, and I uploaded it to Claude Cowork, and I merged the two together. And I said, give me the top 20 ranking blog posts for our site. And then we paired those top 20 blog posts with a corresponding pop-up. So we probably have 7 pop-ups right now. I am continuing to change them, but each pop-up is tied to a topic that we're talking about on the blog. So what I'm seeing happen behind the scenes is people are in Claude or ChatGPT, and they're searching for a business coach. They're searching for how to scale without social media. They're searching for female entrepreneur, right? Those are all our keywords. I come up, I point them to this awesome blog post, which I think, they're good. They got a lot of information. And then the pop-up matches what you're reading. So we have the first step is a blog specific pop-up, which is tied to specific blog posts. The second piece of this strategy is we added pop-ups to the main pages of our website. So the blog post pop-ups don't change. They're just there. They stay there. They match the topic. We leave them alone. On the main pages of our website, so like homepage, press page, podcast page, About Holly page, there are also pop-ups that come up. These pop-ups are all the same. So every main page on our website has the same pop-up. So you don't get it like 100 different times. And we have 3 versions that we go through. It could be a freebie. It could be a podcast. We just have different versions that we go through. And then the last layer to the strategy is on this podcast, we talk about at the beginning, the freebie that we're promoting on our website. So if you're listening to this podcast where you're on a drive and you're like, oh, I really want to go, download that thing. Guess what? When you go to our homepage, you're getting the same thing. So it like all matches, and it really helps the system sort of run simultaneously. And also all 3 feed the email list. So occasionally we'll like pop in one of the resources that's on the pop-up in our email list. And so they're all working together. The really fun part about this is it's a great way to change up what you're talking about. It's also a great way to point people to resources that you already have, right? So if we're talking about one of our freebies for 2 or 3 weeks. The pop-ups are the same. The pre-roll on the podcast is the same. Maybe we're highlighting it in our newsletter. Then 2 weeks later, we switch it. So you don't always hear the same thing. And you'll maybe start to notice that things shift over time. And so I think it's a very robust strategy, but it's also one that is directly adding people to our email list. The one thing that I will say is on our website, we are using a tool called ConvertBox. So my website sits on Kajabi. Kajabi and most website platforms have the ability to bring in different pop-up tools. The reason why I chose ConvertBox is, and I'm not an affiliate, I don't even know if they have an affiliate program, but it's a one-time fee. So you pay one time, you don't ever have to pay again, which I love. But also ConvertBox lets you set rules for who sees what and when. So you don't want to come to a website and every single time get the same pop-up. So you can set rules by page, by visit number, by traffic source, by whether somebody is on your list. If someone is already a subscriber, you could suppress the pop-up entirely so they don't see the opt-in. And you can track the analytics inside ConvertBox. So I can see, like we just came out with a quiz at the time of this recording. The quiz pop-up actually didn't do great on our homepage. I could see that people were viewing it, but like a lot of people were not clicking on it. And it's because it's the main call to action on our homepage. So I switched the pop-up to something else and then it did much better. But ConvertBox allows you to track impressions, conversions, and of course you can take all that data, dump it into Claude and really analyze like what's the information that my audience is consuming and what's the information that they're opting into. So this strategy is definitely not a like set it and forget it situation. But what I have done is every 2 weeks, we switch our pop-ups. We switch the pop-ups on the website. We switch the information that we're sharing on the pre-roll of the podcast. And every month, I go in and run my Google Analytics on the blog specific data. What that means is I'm looking at what blogs are the most popular, what are people searching for, and then I make sure that the pop-ups align appropriately. So you might be saying, wow, this is an interesting strategy. It sounds like a lot of work. I will tell you the initial setup takes a minute, but now it's taking me like maybe 20 to 30 minutes every 2 weeks, and then maybe 20 to 30 minutes every month to just like look at the data and shift things. The result is 20 new email subscribers a week, right? And so I want to like reframe this number because I'm not posting on social. This is 100% happening behind the scenes. I don't have to be at my computer. It's doing the work for me while I'm out doing whatever I want. And you know, it's not hitting 10,000 subscribers a month, but it is hitting ideal people who found us through search, read our content, and asked for more. And this is truly the definition of an ideal client. So these are not people who clicked on a boosted post and then forgot they opted in and unsubscribed. These are not people who like downloaded a freebie on a whim. These are people who are already looking for what we do. And for us, the email list is an asset. So I always say social media is rented land, and like I'm inviting people with this strategy, like into my world, into our home, right? And then I can see how strong of leads they are because I see our open rates and our click rates and the welcome sequence and the nurture funnel that they're in. And they're still there, right? They're not the ones that are unsubscribing 2 days after they enter your world. So here's how I want you to think about this for your own business. Number one, are you auditing your existing traffic? So I would love for you to go in and look at the top 5 pages of your site or your top 5 blog posts. Those are the pages that you want to, one, make sure they're optimized the most from an SEO level, but also build the pop-ups for, right? And you don't have to build 30 pop-ups in one day. Like we're taking like 2 or 3 a month, implementing them, moving on, right? Because these are all things that you have to track. You want to make sure that you're matching the pop-up or the offer to the page. So for each high traffic page, ask yourself, what is this person looking for and how can I help them opt in to that next step? Maybe it's a podcast playlist, a guide, a checklist, a workshop. You can use what you already have. You don't have to create something new. And you just want to make sure that you're matching it to where people want to go. The third step is you want to use a tool that will help you do this. ConvertBox is what we use. Like I said, most websites have this pop-up functionality, but it's typically one pop-up for the whole site. And we want to make sure that we have very specific pop-ups for each page because again, it's relevant. We want to capture the person as they're looking for what they're doing. And then last but not least, we want to make sure that we're switching them out, right? You don't want the same pop-up on your homepage over and over and over and over again. Switch it out every 2 to 4 weeks. And so this helps keep your audience engaged. It's like the element of surprise. There's something new, even though it's not new. And then track the data. What is the data telling you? You can go inside ConvertBox or whatever tool you're looking at and look at what's converting, what's not, what pop-up version is winning, right? You can even create 3 to 4 versions of one pop-up and switch it out once you see which ones are working the best. So typically we will kill what isn't working and really double down on what is. And that honestly is the part most people skip because that's what makes the system work because it's very relevant to what your clients or future clients are looking for. So I hope you're excited about this little toolkit I'm giving you. 20 subscribers a week is not going to break the internet, but 20 ideal clients totally will move the needle for you. And that's every week compounding over a year, which is over 1,000 people who found you organically and who are asking for more, who are asking to work with you and who are asking for a next step. So to me, that list is what's worth having, right? That is what true organic list growth looks like. It's not a viral moment or a massive launch. It's this perfectly timed content that's consistent, intentional, and compounding. So if you already have website traffic or you are looking to get more website traffic, this is your sign to start capturing those leads, right? This is your sign to really start digging in to making sure people who are looking for you are finding you and they have that perfect next step to go to. So if you want to go deeper into list building strategy, you can go to hollymariehaynes.com/workshop. I share our entire anti-social strategy, just like what I just shared here. But I would love for you to try this, play around with it. Let me know how it works, and I will see you next week.